And here we are live with the GOGN group in Galway. They've had a busy day and we're looking forward to having a chance to have a chat. So why don't we start with the virtual folks. Christina and Sadiqa, you can introduce yourselves first and then we'll go to the on-site folks.
Okay. My name is Sadiq Shahad from Ghana. I'm with the Wikimedia Ghana user group and the Creative Commons Ghana chapter. I volunteer in contributing to Wikimedia and its projects, and I also work with the Creative Commons Ghana community, where we organize CC events across the country. I'm also a co-founder of Global Open Initiative Foundation in Ghana here, and our focus is to advocate for open data and open educational resources in the country. And also we are working to, we have a challenge with freedom of panorama, and our main focus is to sensitize the public sector so that we can get away with that.
Okay, hi, I'm Christina Hendricks. I teach philosophy in Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada, and I'm also, I guess now I'm officially the Creative Commons Global Network Council representative for Creative Commons Canada, and also an OER advocate, I suppose, and researcher.
And I'll do a quick introduction myself. I'm Helen Ward, currently located in Windsor, Ontario, and I work as a faculty instructor with Faculty of Education here in Canada. So let's go to the on-site folks.
I'm Kamala Huttonwella from the Open University, and I'm here with the GOGN people, so I'll let them all introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. I am Regina from Michigan, and here as part of the GOGN group. My first time in Ireland, the GOGN seminar.
Hi, I'm Jenny Heyman. I'm a GOGN alumna. I finished my work, but have been invited to talk about the doctoral process with the current group of GOGN members who are attending here, and I'm really enjoying so far all of the good presentations about the research people are doing.
Hi, Jameson Miller. I'm from studying my PhD in open education at College of William and Mary. I'm Director of Teaching and Learning at Lumen Learning.
Hi, I'm Michael Pascavicius. I'm at the University of Victoria, where I did my PhD, now work as a faculty member, and also just a recent completer of my PhD. So here to listen to all the great work that's just getting its roots to support where I can, and also first time on Virtually Connected. So.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sarah Lambert from Deakin University in Australia, and I'm in the last year of my PhD doing a lot of writing and publications and sharing, and it's great to be able to come back and close the loop. So I came 2 years ago when lots of us were at the freaking out stage, and now we're at the we have something to say stage, which is so beautiful to observe. So really looking forward to meeting you, and this is also my first virtual connecting. So I'm also keen because I have to do one at the conference, so really good to
practice.
Thank you.
I should have brought the badges, Helen.
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
Yeah, that would have been great. Everybody gets a sticker. Everybody gets a sticker. And speaking as someone, oh, did we miss somebody?
Yes,
I'm on the end. Hi, I'm Debbie Bass. I'm here with the GOGN lot. This is my first time at GOGN, although I've done OER conference a few times. And I'm just at the freaking out stage. So I'm writing my research proposal every week. So, and I've had a fabulous day. This lot are amazing. So, and it's really great to be on Virtually Connecting.
It's
Hello.
awesome to see you again. Yes, I think last year you were on one.
I've done a couple of them. I think they're great. Really, really helpful to have that connection.
And speaking as someone from the freaking out stage, I hear you.
I like the term you used today, the butterfly state. Butterfly in a flutter, as it were.
Yeah.
Over here, could be over there.
Yeah.
Over here.
And the pink.
Okay, so I've been tracking the tweets and came up with some real gems as things were happening today. So I'd like to hear how you felt the day went and what the if you had any aha moments and maybe even what GOGN's all about.
Shall I do what GoGen's all about, and then these people can speak for how it's worked for them. So at the Open University, we get some funding from the Hewlett Foundation, and every year we bring together sort of 10 to 15 researchers who are in open educational resources to try and help them and build a support network. Kind of the idea was to try and raise the profile of OER research and build a kind of supportive network. And this is our 8th such seminar doing that. And these are all lovely people, so I'll let them talk.
Today was pretty wild. We have some meta sort of sessions where we're thinking about identity as an open researcher. So those are really useful meta kinds of issues for all of us, which are great. And then we just dig in and hear, we had how many? 3 individual presentations from researchers today. So then we got to like a deep dive into 3 people's research project or outcomes, and it just allows you to really see the whole context and how it's being applied in teaching in classrooms and so we just got that deep dive happening as well. So for me, I like the combination of that kind of some meta and a bit of a very specific. I feel really energized. Actually, I think I feel more energized now than I did this morning, but then that could be the jet lag.
Yeah.
I continue to kind of be very impressed and surprised every time at the diversity of research that can happen open. It's it's meant to be unique research, but it's always amazing to me the depth of thought and the different pathways and the subtle and major differences that can happen in research about open practice, open educational resources. It's really quite amazing.
And for me, as like really early stage in my PhD studies, it really is helpful. So tomorrow, I don't know what I'm going to present, but it really, for me, I think I'll get more from than you'll probably get from me, which, so fair warning, because it kind of like clears up my mind about what I really want to do. I have some ideas, but of course, collectively, I hope to get, your feedback about a non-topic yet. So maybe it'll be clearer. Yeah.
It's a really safe space to share emerging ideas, processes, things you're thinking about doing. Speaking from experience, when I came 2 years ago, I was still figuring it all out. Some of you were here, so it helps crystallize where you want to go, getting some feedback, getting the connections solidified so you can keep having those conversations really help your research. So although you maybe aren't sure what you're going to say, we're all looking forward to it.
Yes.
It'll be like a chance to get back and just test the right.
Yeah, I think for me it's been really helpful. We've heard lots about imposter syndrome today, and kind of people have shared their experiences. Although you kind of mentally know that you're not alone, it's nice to hear that from other people. And particularly like Sarah's map, she shared a map, a messy map with us, where her journey's taken her all over the place, and that was really. I found it comforting, but I know one of the other guys was like, "Oh, that's really scary," but I found it really comforting to know that I'm not alone.
Yeah. It's okay. It's a bit messy. Yeah.
Learning is messy.
It's not one of those clean little upward diagram arrows in the process.
Well, we actually have another member that was able to join us a little bit late. Danielle, you want to introduce yourself? Name, institution, and how long you've been doing?
I'm Danielle Pipier. I am a Canadian student, but I'm studying at the University of Canterbury in New Zealand. My topic is on course design in the context of open educational practices and organizational change. I'm looking at how different organizations develop courses for the OERU. What was that?
That's all.
So one of the things that I gathered from today too is not unusual for PhD students. I was on a track and then got distracted by employment and life and these other things. So coming back from a hiatus, this is helping kind of push me over the finish line. And again, I think a lot of the experiences that we're talking about here are things that people in more traditional or more established disciplines have amongst their colleagues in their home institutions. But since open education is new and emerging, we lack this kind of community in our home institutions. But this is where we're able to generate that community. And it's paramount, I think, to anyone's doctoral work to have that kind of support. And so now it's a resource for all of us.
I'm long way from this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah. So also what you need, I don't know about like the path, but we have Angela DeBurger from the Hewlett Foundation. As you know, they're funding GOGN and they're up for another 3 years of funding. And so Angela said that it really has been helpful that she's part of the discussion, so like learning about our research and how their funding is impacting researchers like us. And I think that is important because not many funding institutions send in their funders like, to see the projects they are funding in action. So
makes it real.
Yes. And aside from the fact that we are really heavily pushing, you really have to fund it or else.
I've coached them all, saying how fantastic. Again, it's like,
I'm with the Thomas Severe for every time we are.
that's the deal.
So just to jump in, so you've come together. It sounds like you've found your tribe in this GOGN session, and that there's support for you, not just in the work you're doing, but financially as well. Because I know funding is always a big issue for anyone who's doing any research. So this is almost like a bonus layer.
So the way it works is we fund people to come to the seminar and also to attend in this case, the OER 19 conference. And we do that every year. But we bring people to just make the funding, not for the research.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, is there any questions from the virtual participants? Are the virtual participants kind of embarking on research yourselves, or what would be helpful to know?
For me, it's just helpful to know what the whole event is like for you as researchers, because you don't often have people that are thinking the same way or researching the same areas, and sometimes even your supervisors aren't really attuned to what you're trying to accomplish in your research. So what's that process like for you during these days?
And there's one from Christina as well. Christina says, I'd be curious to hear more about the diversity of research, an example or two. So two people presented today. Talk about your presentations.
Yeah.
Mine is early stages. I'm still trying to refine exactly what I'm going to look at, but I'm hoping to look at online communities, basically why people involved, what motivates them to continue their involvement, and sort of how you can sustain those communities going. But at the moment, I'm still looking at how I'm going to do that. But I'm hoping that one of the communities I'm going to look at will be the GOGN network, which I think will be really helpful. And also the Learning and Teaching in HE chat, the tweet chat that takes part on a Wednesday night once a week. So that's where I'm kind of thinking of going at the minute. But as I said, I'm just still refining it at the moment.
Can I ask a quick question?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
had another question that I typed out and haven't posted yet, but it's related to this, and it has to do with the GOGN network, because I've heard about it, but I don't really know that much about how it all works. So is it the case that you all meet once a year, but then there's other kinds of aspects to the network and the community that happen outside of the meetings?
Yeah.
So people, I'm peeking in around the side. Hi, Christina.
Yeah, sure.
So people apply to join the network, and we accept people in the network if they are doing a PhD or an EdD in roughly an OER area. As you see, so some people it's more OEP, sometimes books, but kind of roughly in the area. And then we ask people to apply for funding to come to the seminar, and we choose 12 to 15 people, different people sometimes. And then during the year, we also run a webinar every month, and we offer kind of informal support to people. Sometimes people will get in touch with us saying, could I have a chat about my data analysis or something, or sometimes, and also we try to encourage students to form kind of their own sort of self-help. Out of luck, a seminar a few years ago, people formed a group around a particular methodology approach, and stuff. So there's a kind of a community aspect to it. But yeah, so we try to kind of have some activity throughout the year, but there's definitely a peak around the kind of face-to-face seminars.
I think the connections that we make then, I mean, for me, this is my Twitter network that has introduced me to another layer and another layer. And so through the Twitter, I'm able to, I actually do feel connected throughout the year. I mean, you go in fits and bursts and then quiet periods, but I actually feel over the last few years, not only have I deepened my understanding through people's the network members, where they go, what other conferences they go to that I don't go to. Oh, what was good? What was the keynote saying there? And here's this paper, you should follow this up. So there's a kind of an inbuilt value there in it's like having eyes and ears in places that you can't go through the network, because people know what I'm interested in and I know what other people are likely to be interested in. So there's a lovely kind of referring that happens particularly around other big events. And I'm in Australia, and I can't afford the time or the money to get over to Europe or America. And there's a number of things I think, oh wow, I'd love to get to that, but there's just no way. So I feel like I've got some eyes and ears in those spaces, and that for me is massive, really super valuable. Yeah,
of course, is where the value of connecting comes in.
Yeah. Yeah, I often still find the time difference is 3 in the morning for me anyway. So I actually have never yet managed to get to one of these. Yeah. 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 So
another one.
So hopefully that answers your question, Christina. Yeah, cool. Thumbs up from Christina.
And is that Christina from British Columbia?
Yeah, Christina Hendricks. Yeah, she has written a few articles on OER around the cost, outcome, usage, perception. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah, I think
she's a fellow too.
Yeah, an OER fellow, and she's facilitated a couple brilliant sessions on how to destroy open education.
Yeah, and she's also doing like a Rebus open textbook, right? You're leading that group. Intro to Philosophy.
Intro to Philosophy open textbook. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're having our Christina Hendricks fangirl moment.
Yeah. Sadiq, do you have any questions?
Okay, so I want to find out if there are other discussions that are centered around open education in the global south. Is there a session like that?
I think I might.
Yeah.
So I'm doing research on I'm doing research on open education as social justice action. So I presented some work in trying to move that forward, and how I've been developing studies of work that actually embodies the sort of social justice approach, and some upcoming opportunities to collaborate with University of Cape Town. We're hosting a writing workshop that we hope that will also bring other people forward in the Global South. As in particular, we want to get a mixture of voices to come and tell us about their work, and to help us facilitate the writing of that work, so that the voices get a little bit heard more than some of the existing publishing venues. It's just, you know, we feel like we have to stimulate that a little bit more. So using our networks so we have Maha Bali through Egypt, and Laura Chernowitz and Cheryl Hodgkinson Williams in Cape Town. Cheryl's just been appointed the UNESCO Chair of Open Education and Justice. I'm so thrilled to have her interested to do this workshop with me from the conference, and we're hoping to stimulate more of those cases being talked about and promoted and blogged and written up formally. But also today we had a really great presentation from Michael Dabrowski, and although he's in Athabasca, he's doing this amazing project wrapped using the Sustainable Development Goals as the curriculum for a course that involves two groups of Spanish-speaking, sounds like a lot of migrants and many who've come through a lot of trauma, to write stories and openly publish those as a textbook in Spanish about the issues of sustainable development. And that's like, we were just totally wowed by this alignment between, so he's coming at it from a perspective of authentic assessment. He wants the students to have assessments that live on, that are meaningful to them, not just an essay that you burn afterwards because it has no value after the mark. And to engage students with conversations about sustainable development goals. So, and this multilingual support, it just was just an amazing example of multilingual work and multicultural perspectives, and, you know, a culture within a culture. Yeah.
And Sadiq, one of the things we were talking about today was how can we very intentionally work as a network of people to include more PhD and doctoral researchers from the Global South. How can we attract them to the work of doing open research, and how can we support them? So it's a really active conversation among this group is what more can we do to make our community inclusive?
And we were talking maybe about some pipelines. So can we support at the honours and the master's level with some networking, so that we can prepare and support, you know, students as alumni of this group, so that they're, you know, they're fired up, and they also know that if they do push on and get to the PhD stage, they will be supported. So that I was sort of thinking might be a way that we can reach out and a little earlier, because otherwise, how do you know that it's a possibility? Yeah. Great question.
So Sadiq, when are you starting a PhD?
Yeah.
I haven't even started my master's yet.
See, but this is the perfect time. Yeah.
I'll look into that, provided I get a scholarship. Any of your institutions, you know, cost of education is still high in my part of the world, and it's kind of challenge. Even if you want to do, there are still challenges, just like we are trying to, solve. We are gradually getting there, especially with regards to the lower level, the primary and senior high level. There are a lot of work to be done. People have challenges with connectivity. They don't have, even if they are educational resources, they don't have access to them. So last month we took an initiative to work with an organization in the Netherlands. They provide internet in the box devices where we can get to the rural communities who doesn't have or who have limited access to internet. So we started that last month. We got few of the devices, and we introduced that to one of the high schools, and they seem to love it because some of them don't have, they have computers, but they don't have access to connectivity. So we are looking for organizations or those who can help us upload other content to the internet in the box device, where we have Wikipedia and other educational resources, but we need to find out which other resources we can add to that, and how we can grow the platform so that a lot of people can get to use the platform.
Yeah. Wow. And do you know what level of resources and what topics that school particularly wants? Is it
so languages, especially indigenous languages, which we are currently working on. So our last project was translation of Wikipedia articles into our own local languages, which we have developed a local language Wikipedia. So we have one language, one of the most popular languages, Twi Wikipedia. I don't know how you'll be able to pronounce that, TWI. So we did some couple of translations last week. We held an editathon last week where we translated few articles. So we are planning to get that content on that device, so that a lot of people are running away from the indigenous languages in Ghana. So we want to get people to, because they don't have access to those materials, and people feel lazy to write about those, write in those languages. So we are finding a way to get people involved and for people to get access to those materials, even if it's offline.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So do you know about, have you heard of LibreTexts?
LibreTexts? No.
LibreTexts, R-E-R-E. I'll send it to you. LibreTexts has just one of these boxes with the chemistry, biology, all this, the sciences, the open textbooks and sciences built into one of those boxes that can be a local area network.
Wow, that's great. I would love to have that.
Science is helpful to have lots of science.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much.
I think we're disappearing into darkness here.
I was going to say.
We're probably going to have to go for our dinner
thank
soon.
you so much for taking.
Let us know.
Thank you so much for taking time.
Just if you are twittering, just follow on to all of as many here, and we can follow you back and keep in touch with how these projects. That would be really tremendous. Yeah.
Absolutely. Very happy to hear, and we'll definitely be checking out some of the research stuff that happens or comes out in the next couple of days. So, and we'll hear more. Thank you so much.
Bye.